Okay to mix 16-inch and 6-inch tiles in the kitchen in a pattern, or just stick to one?
Do you want to just give out
Okay, so
so
tell me
everybody
a little
can hear
bit-
what he's
Oh,
saying?
in here?
Just so they can all hear.
Sorry, is it okay to mix 16-inch tiles and 6-inch tiles in a pattern, or just stick to one size? And if so, better to for like a 12-inch or 16-inch?
Okay, how big is the kitchen?
It's pretty. Yeah, I have a floor.
Great. Oh, these guys came prepared. I know you were prepared too.
We brought a big couple of
Couple pages in there.
Okay. Wow, this is nice. I want to move in. This is nice. Right on.
The great room's 19 by 19, and the kitchen's off the great room.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see. So we're doing the great room in, the great room is this area right here, and this is the kitchen for those that can see. And it looks like you've got some pillars and a header over there, so the kitchen and the great room are quite open to each other.
Correct.
Yeah. And the great room flooring is going to be this?
Yes, we're thinking through bedrooms, everything, the entire floor.
Right on. And the eating area, we're doing this?
Yes.
Okay. And the kitchen cupboards are?
Well, that's the next question.
Look at you with all of your samples.
Is this too dark? And is it introducing two different colors, or would that kind of blend?
Yeah, this is too dark. I'm sorry. Aren't I brutal?
That's why we're asking.
Well, you know, the problem is you do want to try and keep some of your wood tones a little bit more consistent. Even if we found something that was almost in between these two and a little bit more orangey influenced as opposed to gray. This one starts to get over into that gray family of espressos that I talked about earlier. We do have this fantastic new gray stain called driftwood that would really suit this. And this type of coloring is fantastic for that Brian Gluckstein kind of look, you know, and you guys are out in the woods and, you know, Brian Gluckstein is the city. So I would like to see you get a little bit more towards the bark, actually, you know, more towards this kind of toning.
But still darker than the floor?
It can be a little bit darker than the floor, but not quite as dark and not quite as gray. What's your countertop like?
We haven't picked it yet.
Do you know what type of material? You want to go granite? Okay. Granites are beautiful. Some can be busier than others. It's again a real personal style statement. So when you pick it, love it, because you're going to have it, of course, forever. And granites aren't cheap, so you want to be really, really sure. Are you planning on doing all of the countertops in the same granite, or were you thinking of changing it up?
We thought the same, but what would you recommend?
Well, sometimes I've broken up a kitchen by doing an island in a butcher block or something like that, just because of its fantastic function.
It's a big island, and we're putting the kitchen sink and the dishwasher in the island as well. So.
Okay. Yeah. I actually have an island that is butcher block top that does have my sink and dishwasher in it, and I've experienced absolutely no problem. What I do love about it is it's a very functioning island. We do use that butcher block top for exactly what it's meant for, and we've had no water issues, nothing like that. And what I love about it is I can take a hot pan or a hot pizza box or anything like that, and no, I'm really not going to do any damage to that countertop. And with it being set right close to your wooden floor here, and this being all light, are you doing your cabinets and your island the same type of material? Because there is a trend out there right now to islands being different from cabinets. Have you decided about that yet?
We're at the deciding point. We hadn't considered different, but...
Okay. What's your furniture like?
It needs to be replaced.
It's open. So that's good. That's good. Again, style statement area. You know, whether you do that island a different color or not is really going to determine how you want the house to feel. So we know we're in this woodsy setting, so we know we want it to feel cozy. You're very drawn to woods. So with it being so open to the great room, you've got a fireplace in there. What's going on in the fireplace?
It's actually, well, that was another question. We don't want to take all your time.
No, that's fine.
The original concept was to put a flat screen TV above the fireplace, but the fireplace is not gas. It's actually going to be an airtight insert, and I'm really worried about the heat. So now we're thinking we don't want the TV on top, plus it elevates it too high. So should we leave the fireplace in the middle of the wall and move the TV off to the corner on the right, or should we balance both of them and offset each one off the center on that wall? That wall's 19 feet.
Yeah, it's a nice big wall, and for the folks that can't see this floor plan, the fireplace is here. There's a big long wall here, and this is all
That's
windows and a covered area. So you know, if this is a covered area, we do know we're getting limited light in there. So we don't want to darken things down too much. Is the house actually built yet or not yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know that this area is a little bit to the darker side?
It is. It's also on
Yeah.
the north side of the house, so.
Okay, so we have to be a little bit careful how many heavy dark elements that we put in there. And you're not sure how you're treating the fireplace yet as far as stone or anything like that. Are you drawn to that Owen ledge rock kind of dry stack look? Do you know that kind of look that I'm talking about? It's very natural stone. You see it on a big tile now. Rona, a lot of these big places have it. Is that the type of look that you're thinking of?
Probably, definitely something natural.
Would definitely suit your environment. There's a brown and gray one that would be excellent for you. That would really suit this, and you really don't want to go to the lighter version, which is more of a creamy color, and it's tempting because of the coloring of the floor. But you need something that feels substantial enough and authentic enough to the area. So try to go to natural stone if you can, and I would be going with that Owen ledge rock. And don't worry about the TV being up too high. I actually have a TV that doesn't start until here because it's a cathedral. And it's above a wood-burning fireplace, and we've had it there for 4 years, and there's absolutely no problem with that at all. So it's funny because you feel like it would be too high, but when you sit back on your sofa and actually put your head back, your head naturally tips back. So we've almost been forcing ourselves to look down at TVs when they're on a lot of these consoles and things. So don't worry about the height. I think you'll actually find it more relaxing. You'll just be asleep faster watching TV. That's the only thing I will warn you, is when your neck gets that relaxed, you're going to be asleep in no time. Have you considered putting built-ins on either side of the fireplace?
We're considering it.
Yeah. So if you do that, and that all this comes back to that same kitchen question. So this is how many questions we have to ask before we can really determine, what's going to be best for your style. So in that case, because you love wood and you're thinking of this particular wood for your kitchen cabinetry, I'm going to lighten you up a little bit, but give you more of that wood. So in time, if it's possible, I would love to see you do wood built-ins on either side of the fireplace that emulate the wood that's on the far side of the kitchen. So because the more of that wood you're going to feel is the same, the better it's going to be for the space. Plus you're really open, so it's going to be really important that that wood stays consistent, which allows us to have the flexibility of giving you a painted island. There is a great opportunity for a color statement that you can change up as your style changes. And it's not a problem to just put an extra coat of paint on that island when the time comes. And that can be your accent or punctuating color. And I would be treating this island as its own entity and putting a butcher block top on it, painting it, and then using the wood around the surround and on either side of the fireplace.
That's great. Never thought of actually.
Okay.
One more question on flooring.
Sure, absolutely.
We were thinking we have a separate mudroom entrance, so there'll be a formal entrance. And is that introducing too many elements to go with something like that in the formal entrance next to the wood?
Okay, you guys have got a personality conflict. One of you loves Brian Gluckstein and one of you loves earthy. No, I love this too. I don't know
who they are.
This is a great tile. It may be, again, a little bit more on the formal side as this wood element is. I love it as a tile. In your particular setting, I would rather see you going a little bit more of a relaxed style of stone. That doesn't mean you necessarily have to come away from it being stone or marble. It just should be honed as opposed to polished. So it needs to feel flatter, more authentic and genuine to the area, because this is a lovely look, but it's a little bit more Mediterranean as opposed to, Northern Ontario. So if we were to have this honed, excellent choice, or go to a slate or something that will bring in a little bit of this coloring that's in this flooring. There's one called Indian Autumn Slate that you might want to take a peek at because it's predominantly putty sort of toned, and it also has purples and oranges and greens. It's actually a beautiful product, and if you like natural elements as you do, because you're using granite in that other area, that's another thing that you're going to love about the butcher block top, is it brings some more wood in from that great room, because this is really quite open. So it's about tying the whole package together, right? So I would be thinking about a little bit more casual for the flooring in that mudroom.
Or should we, not for the mudroom, for the formal
Oh,
entrance?
for the formal entrance,
Or should
yeah.
we take the hardwood, right, and just not put a different flooring in the...
How much
the
will you
entrance?
use that front entrance?
Just for guests.
You know, if I did it, I would do it as a pad rather than, let me just look at your floor plan again here. Okay, so this particular front entry has a staircase down the side of it, enters into an office, and we do have a little mini wall here. Because of the offset of the staircase and the mini wall, it is very determined that you could just do that entire entry as stone.
The ceiling height changes as well. The entrance is like a 13-foot ceiling, so it drops for a little bit and then goes back up to the great room again.
Oh, fantastic. Are you doing any kind of ceiling treatments in this area? Okay. Wherever you can, if the house is just being built, try not to get stucco or California knockdown.
Sorry, they're putting California knockdown.
Okay.
You're saying don't do it?
Well, I mean, if there was a way you could avoid it, I'd love it if you could. Some builders are just bound and determined. They want to use it because it really, you know, hides any imperfections in the trusses or anything like that. It really makes life a lot easier. But if you can, get it flat, because it'll open up your options as to what you can do with color later on. Should you want to put in crown molding or anything like that, it would be great to put a little bit of paint tint on that to really show your crown molding off. Plus, you might have a little bit of a vaulted area where, you know, it might be nice to use tongue and groove or bring in another wood element for you. That front entry, if it's peaked, I'd love to see you do tongue and groove that was a similar color to this, because, you know, that's a little bit of your grand entry, and we don't need to make it grand by using marble. We can make it grand by, you know, creating a more woodsy effect and having a more woodsy chandelier drop down in that area, and then the slate. I think it would be beautiful.
So did you mean just the foyer shouldn't be knocked down, or try not to do knockdown
Try
anywhere?
not to do it anywhere if you can avoid it. Again, in bedrooms and that sort of area, it's a great place for us to bring a little bit of color onto the ceiling and flatter what's on the walls, because it's all about relationship. Color is all about relationship. Now, some colors can get more green, more pink, all depending on what you're putting them with. So I'd love to play a little bit with what your colors are by, you know, what we treat those ceilings with. So my first choice would be to have them plain, and in your particular instance, as much wood tongue and groove ceiling as you could afford to do.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, no problem. You'll get your samples back in a minute.